person.
I see.
So I just needed to do some technical work, and then I had to change my path. Yeah.
Hmm. So this research you're saying is not that technical.
So you're working with Dr. Nali?
So right now I'm a master's student, and
Sorry.
we are having our minor thesis. So
Okay.
Professor Nalin suggested that we implement the project that you started. So that is the goal right now. So I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to connect and understand. So I went through the
Okay.
paper. What I understand is GDPR Shield is a Jira plugin, which will eventually be integrated on every new feature or user story that the developers put up. It will automatically take everything on that user
Yeah.
story as an input and create maybe another Jira ticket with modified GDPR aligned requirements for the same user story. So that is the expectation at the end of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So is that and
Yeah, that is the proposal, Rohit. That means, I mean, even though we proposed it, it's kind of a conceptual idea that we
hmm,
proposed through that paper, but we haven't implemented it yet. So what I wanted to do is, I mean, as I said before, I have a startup, right? So as a person who has that startup experience, I know that even though we work on different projects, developers don't have that GDPR understanding,
hmm,
privacy understanding in particular. So when we work with Canadian clients, so what they mentioned is there's a particular privacy guideline set, something similar to GDPR in Canada, but I can't remember that exact name. But they said that we need to align with that guideline if you are working with Canadian people.
hmm.
So my as per my understanding, it's hard to
GDPR I
explain
believe is for
those
Europe though.
GDPR kind of things. Yeah, it's for Europe. Yeah,
Okay, but even Canadian
yeah.
developers require it.
As per my no, Canadian people don't require GDPR. There's something similar to GDPR. There's
Okay,
another set of rules in Canada.
I see. I see.
So what I understood was it's hard to give my developers a proper awareness. That means, for example, let's say there's a course kind of thing. I mean, let's say there's a particular course designed for GDPR, and then I ask my developers to follow that course, something like that. It's not practical. So I
Hmm.
just wanted to do some practical stuff without them giving them an overhead. For example, let's say you are working on your project, and then while you are working on your project, you're focusing on completely on your project, and then there's a separate plugin running in background, and then it'll suggest you something for
Just
example,
like
let's
the
say
linking tool
you're writing a
here
code,
for
and
the user story.
that my plugin,
Hmm.
yes, something similar to that.
So without the
It's not
user,
giving you
without the
such
developer
overhead.
having to
So
put
that
in
is
so much thought, something would already be there for him to uh,
hmm.
work on. Like, okay, you need to do encryption for your data, something like that.
Do encryption for your data. Yeah, something similar to that. Because as I remember, GDPR has eight different set of guidelines, and then and one more thing. For example, let's say if you're asking your developer to follow and understand the whole lot of concepts in GDPR, then it's not also practical, right?
Hmm.
Because it may take few days to read those stuff, because it has 50 or 50 or 100 pages, as I
Yes,
remember.
of course, developer cannot become cybersecurity specialist overnight, and that's not expected as well. I understand the
Yeah,
problem
yeah,
you're
yeah.
trying to solve.
No, yeah.
So I wanted to know if you think about conducting experiments regarding this, what would your suggestion be? Should we be looking at a few companies
Mhm.
and trying to get user stories from them as inputs, and then hire a cybersecurity expert to kind of create what an ideal output from the LLM model should be for that particular user story? So now we have like a test set that this is the user input, like user story input, and this is the expected GDPR section that should be highlighted by the LLM model. So by having such few user stories created, then we can uh, try to train the model. That would be the experiment, and then the benchmark would be how many of those did we get right.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. As per I mean, as I remember, I wrote that thing in the paper, right? For first thing in the experiment should be having having those user stories in our hand, so that we can feed into an LLM kind of thing and then get the results. But I think getting accurate user stories as a data set is one of the hardest thing to do, because as I know, I mean, as I said again, I'm working in software industry. So then at the end of the day, what we want is understanding the requirement, right? As a developer, I need to understand the requirement. But I wrote in the paper that user story should follow a particular format. For example, as an admin, I need to do blah 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 blah, so that I have this blah 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 blah, something like that. I need to follow that format, right? But in the industry, it's hard to say that we follow that exact format, because client is pushing the PM, I mean the project manager and business analysts, to do that stuff very quickly. So then business analysts try to write the user stories as quickly as possible. So then that business analyst might miss those formats. So then collecting such accurate user stories, it's very hard to do, from my understanding. So if you are interviewing such person, so then what you need to do is, I think, first you need to get such user stories and format by yourself. So then you have that clear data set. So then again, without narrowing your focus to a particular startup or uh, particular how can I say, particular startup that works on a niche. For example, let's say there are some companies work on legal tech side, there are some companies work on financial side, some other work on SaaS development, something like that. So you, without focusing on a particular niche, just uh, try to get the data set from each and every sector, from finance, from legal, from SaaS, something like that. So then you have that clear big picture, right? So then how they write user stories. Yeah, that is my feedback for your question.
From your experience, how many user stories do you think we'll need total?
You're asking to build this product, I mean GDPR Shield.
Yes.
mm, it's hard to say,
Do you think it's
because
doable,
as I said,
implementing this project?
yeah, yeah, it's completely doable. It's completely doable, but with that AI coming in, most business analysts and project managers tend to rely more on AI when writing those user stories, right? So then they might feed their requirement set into an AI and ask to write down ask to write down the user stories. So then so what my point is, some of them, most of them may not be human written,
Hmm.
maybe AI suggestions. So then
The human in the
you
loop
cannot
part of
say that
your algorithm
even
will
though
not
you
work.
get such
Hmm.
user stories.
Because you said the feedback
Yes,
will be there,
yes, yes.
that it should, once you check, then the ambiguity part will go back to the user, and the user will remove the ambiguity, and then we'll move. So that step will be complicated because of this. Okay.
Yes. So what my point is, yes, in the industry that ambiguity part may be not working because, for example, let's say I'm the developer, you are the
Mm.
project manager, you are giving me the requirements. So then if I have a doubt in a particular requirement, I will contact you and ask. So developer may not, sorry, the project manager may not refine that user story. Without refining it, you might say over a meeting, I mean, over a video call or voice call or something, this needs to be implemented in this way
Mm.
without refining the user story. So then that ambiguity part is always there. So in my concept paper, I mentioned that we need to remove those ambiguities, right? So to remove those ambiguities, we need to understand what those ambiguities are. But we don't know what the ambiguity is, because have you need to conduct some interviews with developer and the project manager, and you need to understand those communication, how their communication works, right? So that is what my point.
Mm. Okay, so we need to conduct these interviews with actual developers to understand more. Okay, that was something that we need to do. Okay, without other than the experiment, this part is also important. Yes, you are right. Okay, I didn't think of that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What else are your suggestions regarding some hurdles that we might encounter when we are trying to implement?
um
Okay, another question. Um, as a startup developer, I
yeah.
mean, as you're having a startup, in your startup, have you ever
Mhm.
faced situations where
Mhm.
you already shipped out the feature and now you realize, oh my God, we forgot to implement a few key important, security decisions where if we had a product like GDPR Shield, it could have helped us see it before. Any situation like that that you have faced?
Can you please repeat that middle part of the question? I
Sure,
missed
sure,
it
sure,
because there's a connection drop.
sure. In your experience so far, have you ever shipped out an feature in your product and later realized that if we had a product like GDPR Shield, we could have, uh, caught some security requirements early on before releasing the
Okay.
feature? Something like that.
Yeah, I will explain you through one of the conversations we had today, right? So
Wow.
today morning we had a conversation. We are developing kind of a library. Yeah, we are developing kind of a library, and so my senior developer said that junior developer, even though junior developer, encrypted the password and stored it in the database, he hasn't followed a proper guideline that OWASP suggested, right? OWASP.
Yes.
So what they mentioned is, if you are storing such data like passwords, I mean, some sensitive data in database, it's better to add salt and pepper. There's salt and pepper, that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
as a cybersecurity. Yeah, you know that, right? So then he hasn't implemented salt. So that
Okay.
was my senior developer suggested. But if we have such tool like GDPR Shield, particularly focus on security, right? So in GDPR Shield, we are focusing on privacy. If there's a particular tool in security, then it will not waste my senior developer, junior developer time, because then that tool immediately detects that salt is not there, then it suggests the developer to add a salt,
Hmm.
something like that. It happened today, and happened in the past as well.
I see.
I have a
Another
question.
question I had is, Yashwant, you have something?
Yeah, yeah. So I have a question. Like, if we are implementing this, like, if you're saying, suggesting that a salt is required, so we need to implement this in like we need to share the codes, right? So that the AI can read and tell us where we didn't add the salt or something.
This is at the
So.
user story level, Yashwant. So,
No, yeah, yeah. The user story, like they know that this is there, and but what I'm coming to is like GDPR Shield should predict that this is missing. that can tell the developer that you have missed this, but you should have used this, right?
That is a good
That
question.
is the thing.
The point that at what stage the GDPR Shield's output is there, right? Is it only going to state GDPR sections, or is it also going to recommend the solution? That's what you're saying, Yashwant, right?
Yeah. So whether we need to give this in the planning phase or in the mid.
So I think from the
Uh,
research paper, it stops at the GDPR section itself. It doesn't go up to the recommendation part. But
as I remember, I haven't mentioned in the recommendation part, but I'm not sure. Let me check the paper again.
uh,
No, I'm not asking about the paper. So I'm like when we had this conversation, like you said, salt is required and the user case. So like when we implement this, then it should say that you have missed this part, right? So that's why I asked this question. Does this need to be
Yashan,
in
just
the
just
planning phase?
yeah, Yashan, just forget about that salt and pepper thing because it's a security
Okay,
matter. We are
okay,
talking
okay,
about the privacy matters, right? So
okay. Yeah.
I just gave an example to the question that Rohit asked.
okay,
Okay. Yeah.
another question I had is, um, I've seen that most people or most companies and teams, they are focused about their quarterly reports of GDPR audits and things like that, right? So, do you guys also do something like that? Do you have more idea on what that requirement is? Because if our tool is able to help with the reporting part of it, then it really makes a sense for company to invest in a product like this, you know, because they are getting something tangible out of it. Their quarterly reports, direct inputs are coming from our output. For every user story, we are giving the GDPR section and alignment. So this input they can directly use for their report. So I'm trying to like fit it into the pipeline of making a quarterly report. Does that resonate with you? Do you think that might work? Do you guys use that too? Like your products, do you need to do a GDPR
At the
quarterly report?
moment, right? Yeah, no. At the moment, because GDPR is strictly used in European
Europe.
region, no? So we have worked with just few clients in Denmark,
Hmm.
but they haven't mentioned particularly about the GDPR guidelines. We need to follow GDPR thing because we mostly work with uh, startup founders. So what they need is an MVP level software to present to their client. For
Hmm.
example, let's say you are developing a software, so then you need to present a demonstration to your client so that they will invest your product. So at the moment, it's not in public anymore, right? So you are just demonstrating your clients. So then at that level, GDPR is not very much important because since as a company owner, we are working with startup level founders. We haven't encountered such scenarios. I mean, to the que- to the question you asked. So we haven't, because of that, we haven't reported those quarterly
Hmm.
reports.
I
Yeah.
see. That's all right. Okay, I will look into that side as well because I do feel like it might be fruitful. I know a few developers over here, in Melbourne, who do have to
Mhm.
do that work. So maybe I'll talk to them and try to find
Mhm.
out. What else do I have for you? Okay, one second. So, what kind of data we need for conducting experiments? User stories, and we need developer experiences. We need to talk to them. That you answered. What kind of benchmarks can we use? Yes, during your research, did
Mhm.
you come across any other paper who was doing something similar and they have any benchmarks or something like that?
No, Rohit, I couldn't find such similar works, but one paper I remember that they mentioned this is an issue. I mean, I cited those papers in this paper itself.
Hmm.
It's not a product development or something like that. So they mentioned that GDPR awareness is an issue among software developers. So that is why I propose this.
Okay, understood. I see. Do you see value in? I mean, if we go with his, do you see companies buying this product? Uh, do you think it's fruitful for them to invest in something like this? If you have a client who's working in Europe region, would you be interested in just having like a $5 subscription for this product, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say yes or no for that answer because you're asking from the same person who proposed this idea, right?
That's
So
correct. Now
that
you're
means
not in the same shoes though, right? You're in the shoes of a startup owner who actually knows and understands business, he's making money, right? So from this perspective, do you see like, okay, yeah, I still think it's a worthwhile investment, right? That kind of a thing.
yeah, I feel that this is kind of a worth project because at the time I proposed this, I have been doing my startup, right?
Hmm.
I mean, I proposed this based on the experience I got from my startup. As I said, I have been doing that for 4.5 years right now. So I proposed this last year. That means with 3.5 years of experience, I proposed this.
Hmm.
So that means I feel that startups need this kind of startup owners need such tool to remove their overhead because with the AI coming, there are different regulations proposed from different regions and they have restricted. I mean, for example, some of the startup companies are now looking at the developers who are strictly following those guidelines. I know
Hmm.
that personally because in the descriptions they mention that if you are working online you need to follow these guidelines. In the descriptions they mention GDPR as a
I see.
they're strictly concerned. So then I think that yes, if you are promoting this to a region where GDPR is a concern, that means in Europe, so then this is very worthwhile project. Yeah.
Okay. One last question. Have you heard about Vanta during your research on this project? I'll show you quickly if you don't mind.
Uh, no. Yeah, sure.
So this is an automation compliance alignment company. They basically look at
Mhm.
your pipeline and suggest how to align it better with whichever compliance framework you choose. So they support SOC 2, ISO, HIPAA, as well as GDPR. But clearly there
Mhm.
are gaps. I spoke with one of their spokesperson today. They said that
Mhm.
we do not support direct integration with Jira at the moment. So I
Mhm.
mean, one idea that I think is if we can reach out to them and create a plugin for their platform, that because their product is also shipping
Mhm.
already, right? They are having customers. So if we are able to uh, add this to their pipeline as well, it supports what they are doing, and their customers will be more than happy to get a free plugin, right? Something like that.
Mhm.
Another tool I
Yeah.
saw was
Good suggestion.
this Jira's tool itself. One second. To where did the meeting go? Share screen. So this is a GDPR compliance for Jira, although it is slightly different. So here, what they are instead doing is, if your developer in your team itself is leaving your company, right? But there is a Jira ticket on his name, then he's saying, because I'm leaving the company, I want to be forgotten. So instead of you manually going and changing the Jira tickets user ID from him to anonymous, this tool does that for you. So for Jira itself, it does GDPR compliance kind of a thing. So I feel this is also a pretty good tool.
Okay.
Although, of course, it's not doing what we are proposing, but these are some things that I try to find which might help to kind of get where we are going.
Mhm.
So this is like from a plugin perspective on Jira. So
Mhm.
this is a plugin, so we can look at their code to understand how they implemented the plugin part, and we can look at Vanta for understanding the
Mhm.
accuracy of the model, right? If I'm throwing the same situation at the first Vanta company, then how
Mhm.
and what are they suggesting. So I'm thinking of using these two as inspiration to kind of um, develop something that we want. That's what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good starting point. Can you put that second link? Yeah, it's a very good
I'll
starting point.
share both the links with
I
you on
think.
LinkedIn.
Can you put that Jira link in this chat so that I can, yeah, I can go through it and follow you back with my suggestion. I
Sure.
found that Vanta tool. Uh,
There are actually a few more like Vanta as well. I've pasted all the four products which I came across. Usano, OneTrust, they both do similar to Vanta, what Vanta does.
mhm.
But yeah, Taraka, I'm very excited about this, man. Soon we'll try to create something. So there is one workshop here in Melbourne on Friday. They are having like build with AI kind of a thing. So I'm
Okay.
just gonna go there, try to make it in a day. Of course, it's not gonna work, but we'll try how far we get. After that we can of
Hmm.
course refine and work on something. I
Yeah,
like
sure.
to have things started and working, and then like building on top. So hopefully we do that. And I'm looking forward to your support, man. I know you're a busy guy,
Yeah,
but
sure.
any help you can provide, any if I'm just going to like reach out to you for things like, hey, man, I'm kind of stuck here. What do you suggest, kind of thing? Okay, all right. And by the
Yeah,
way,
I'm
I
always be
forgot to
there for
introduce.
you to help. And one,
Yashwant is my teammate. He's also a
yeah, one
student.
thing I wanted to mention. I mean, since
Sorry. Go ahead.
there's a small delay. Yes, yes, a small delay. Sorry for that because I'm outside right now. I just wanted to, introduce you kind of a platform that my startup is developing. I mean, it's an open source one. We are building a separate, I mean, a set of libraries for developers to, ease their development experience. I mean, for example, let's say, as I mentioned, OWASP. So we are developing a set of libraries that align with OWASP so that they can install it by themselves and, start developing their product with ease. So at the moment we are experimenting with, and we are in next 2 weeks we will be releasing just one library and then experimenting with it, how developers uh, use it or not. I mean, their feedback. So then, since you are in the cybersecurity domain, I would love to have your suggestions as well because
Sure,
it's
man. Sure,
fully
anytime,
open
dude.
source one.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I will let you know once we release, and in the meantime, you can follow that LinkedIn page, Resting Owl. I will invite you through LinkedIn.
Okay. Sure. Well, thanks a lot for your time, dude. And hope you have a great day.
Okay.
I know you're busy. Thank you for your time. All right. Take care.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. If you have any suggestions, just text me. So then I will get, let's discuss whatever the questions you have.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rohit. Yashant. Bye.
Thank you.